Hello and welcome back to something you've watched twice before already, but now with a bald man. My name is Devin, and this is GiBi's Horror Homestead. This is now episode 2 of reading through The Week Before, a Five Nights at Freddy's interactive novel. If you haven't watched the first episode in this series, watch it. And if you did watch it and you clicked on this one, you must like it, so maybe you should subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like. You know I make about $23 per video that I put up. I'm doing this because I like it, but also because I hope one day it can become something more than $23. Without further ado, let's continue with Night 2 on Ralph the Phone Guy's adventure through the week before FNAF 1 takes place, where he's definitely gonna die, because that's how the story goes. You yawn. Time to make the donuts. You usually start your shifts repeating the well-known catchphrase from those donut commercials. But there aren't any coworkers here to laugh along with you. See, this goes back to something I said last episode. It really seems like he's only starting to do this nighttime shift recently. It's the timeline here is very odd. The timeline of FNAF is very odd. Wow, how weird. But yeah, I don't really know what's going on yet. The only people who ever laughed were the new hires, the first time you said it. And they were only being polite since they thought you were their boss. But you're nothing if not consistent. It was easy to do the right thing every day at work here. But at night, it's hard to know what the right thing to do is. You're in unfamiliar territory. Fortunately, you're not only consistent, you're persistent. You never give up trying until you get a job done. You hope that's one of the better qualities Capalia picks up from you. Capalia is your daughter. You also hope you'll be around for a long time to teach your daughter even more lessons about how to live and survive in the world as she grows up. You won't be, because you die. As much as you love this job, you want more for her future than a dead-end career as a security guard. Most importantly, you hope that if anything happens to you on the job, she stays far away from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. So I'm guessing there's 3 endings. One's gonna be, like you survive, which is not the canon ending. One of them's gonna be you die, which is the canon ending, but you do something wrong, which brings, what's-her-name, to come investigate and see you at the pizzeria, and then she gets dead too. And then the canon ending is you die, but your daughter stays away. That's my theory. Alright, we can check the show stage, check the dining area, or check the restrooms. We should check the stage to see if there's been any movement yet. You punch the button for the show stage. Freddy and Chica are there as they should be, but Bonnie has already left. No wait, Bonnie is still there. Most of him anyway. His body is on the stage, but his head is gone. Who would steal the head of an animatronic bunny? Punk kids, you think? Daredevil teens from the high school and community college sometimes try to break into the restaurant. If they succeeded, they would want to bring back a souvenir of their bravery. You laugh, imagining someone shouting, "Bring me the head of Bonnie the Rabbit." Of course, if anyone actually succeeded in breaking into Freddy Fazbear's Pizza after hours, they would be the ones in danger of losing their heads. Figuratively and literally. But this is no laughing matter. You have a real problem now. You have to find and reattach Bonnie's head before the place opens in the morning. As terrifying as animatronics can be to some young children, they'll really freak out if they're greeted by a headless one. Or maybe no one would notice. Alright, we can check the dining area camera, the restroom camera, or the backstage camera. I think it's likely that his head's gonna be backstage, so we're gonna check there. Maybe maintenance had to remove Bonnie's head to work on it, and no one told you. No one ever tells you anything. If so, the head would probably be in the parts and services area behind the stage. You switch over to the backstage camera. A large metal endoskeleton rests at the end of the work table. You see masks for Chica, and several variations of Freddy, but no Bonnie head. Power cables dangle down from the ceiling. That's a fire hazard if I ever saw one, you think. You consider raising your concern with management, but they hardly ever take employee suggestions. A little voice inside you says it might not be a bad thing if this place burned down, as long as it doesn't happen until after you collect your last paycheck, and no one, human at least, is in the building at the time. You also notice an empty Freddy Fazbear costume propped up in the corner. At least you assume it's empty. You're curious, but not curious enough to go back there and check. That's definitely Golden Freddy. They called him Yellow Freddy earlier. Yellow Bear Man. The camera pans across the room once more, and you notice that there are no parts for Foxy the pirate back there. Foxy! You quickly switch over to the Pirate Cove camera. The curtain is wide open and the cove is empty. Too late, footsteps run toward the office. Foxy bursts inside and screams in your face. We got dead because we checked the back room. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. Actually, no, what if we don't check the show stage? Let's check the dining area. Let's try to lose on purpose a little bit. You punch the button in for the dining area. Just like last night, the tables are set for a big party, with tablecloths and party hats all laid out. You wonder if the room was used at all. It looks exactly the way it did yesterday, as if nothing has been touched, or the staff is simply meticulous about placing everything exactly where it should be. When you do the same job day in and day out for years, you get pretty good at it. There is one thing out of the ordinary. Bonnie's head lies in one of the aisles between the party tables. It must have fallen off and rolled down there. It's a good thing that happened after hours, because nothing sets off customers more than a malfunctioning animatronic. A head detaching and bouncing off the stage would probably result in some kids needing therapy, not to mention their parents. Are Bonnie's eyes looking at you? The head is lying on its side, but its eyes are trained right on the security camera. Is it a warning? A cry for help? You shake your head. It's just an optical illusion, and indeed, when you look back at the monitor, Bonnie's eyes are looking in a different direction. You need to go reattach Bonnie's head and make sure this doesn't happen again, especially during a performance. So you can go left door or right door. So interestingly, we learn the same information, which is that Bonnie's missing a head, but we get less options. I'm gonna say we always go left first. That's what Chica told us in the other book. You step out into the West Hall, and once again remember, you've been meaning to clean out the broken TVs piled up outside the office. Those things are supposed to work for decades, but they keep burning out. It must be the old electrical wiring in this place. Wires are literally hanging down the wall in front of you, but you're pretty sure they aren't live. You don't touch them, just in case. As you turn down the hallway and glimpse the poster of Freddy Fazbear on the wall, you pause for a moment. You've seen it hundreds of times, but you could have sworn it just changed to show the animatronic ripping off its own head. Terrifying. When you turn back, it's just the same old poster. Freddy singing into his microphone with "Let's Party" over his head. It must have been a trick of the flickering light at the end of the hall, and you've still clearly got Bonnie's head on your mind. As you hurry toward the dining area, the light blinks off. Your eyes adjust to the darkness, and you see a shadow waiting at the far end of the corridor. Just an after image, you think, continuing. Then the light comes back on and Foxy is standing there, and unfortunately, he is very real. With no one checking on him in Pirate's Cove, he's come out to play. You spin around and run back to the security office. Foxy's footsteps sprint behind you. In this life and death race, Foxy is faster. Okay, so we lose if we do that too. Okay, so we're gonna check the restrooms. That's the only of the options we haven't done for this first option. You punch the button for the restroom. The camera pans back and forth, and you're glad to see everything appears normal. Normal for Freddy's, that is. The light bulb you installed yesterday are still going strong. You feel good that countless patrons were able to relieve themselves during the day, thanks to your efforts. Better news, there aren't any signs of wandering animatronics outside the restrooms. Maybe you're in for a quiet night. It sure would be nice to finish out the week with your sanity intact. Alright, so now we can check the dining area or the party room. So, was party room an option earlier? Am I stupid? No, it wasn't. Interesting. Okay. You don't usually bother checking the camera outside party rooms 1 and 2 because it's always cutting out. But you want to be thorough, and there's a chance it will show something, so you punch the button. Sure enough, the camera is borked. The picture is staticky and pixelated with no audio. Fortunately, as far as you can tell, there isn't much to see. The doors to both rooms are opened, and everything seems to be in order. No messes, no wandering animatronics. Just like in the dining area, tables are set for a party that may or may not ever happen, the way things have been going. These party rooms haven't even been used in a while. They're only needed when there are too many parties booked for the dining area. Everyone wants to be in view of the animatronic stars on the show stage on their special day. That reminds you, Coppelia's birthday is coming up next month. Whatever you will be doing to celebrate, it will not involve Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. You might even take her on a trip out of town. It would be nice to get away from all this for a while. So dining area or Pirate Cove? Obviously Pirate Cove or else we're gonna die. You punch the button for Pirate Cove. The shimmery, star-spangled curtains around the attraction are drawn, but you could have sworn you saw something moving back there just as the monitor switched over to the feed. The sign out in front reads, "Sorry, out of order." You made that sign and placed it there yourself, the day they decided to shut Pirate Cove down and sealed Foxy inside. What a terrible day. You crave order, and you need order in your life. That's what called you to security. You keep order, like sheriffs in the Wild West. Only instead of a star-shaped badge, yours is a shield decorated with Freddy's face, proudly identifying you as security for Fazbear Entertainment. It's one of your most prized possessions, and you're going to have to turn it over in 4 days. That out-of-order sign has plagued you for too long. It's a reminder that things around here have very much not been in order for a long while now. It's just taken you some time to see it, and to admit to yourself that there's nothing you can do to change it. Since nothing is moving at the show stage or Pirate Cove now, this is the best time to head out, to find Bonnie's head. Go to the dining area. You arrive at the dining area. Bonnie's head is lying on the floor, staring vacantly at the stars and streamers hanging from the ceiling. But something else catches your attention. The doors to party rooms 1 and 2 are closed. Those were previously open when you saw them on camera, but the feed in that section is notoriously glitchy. It's possible you didn't see them clearly the first time. You're the night watchman, so you should check out anything suspicious, and this is definitely suspicious. Those party rooms are a perfect hiding place, and it's not like the animatronics to go around opening and closing doors. You still have to take care of Bonnie, but it's not like his head is going anywhere. So much for an uneventful night. If you go to Bonnie's head, go here. If you go to party room 1, go here. And here's a picture of Bonnie's head on the floor. Okay, I think that we need to check out the party room, because yeah, Bonnie's head ain't going anywhere by itself. You open the door to party room 1 and turn on the lights. It's basically a miniature version of the dining area for private birthday parties or overflow space. When someone hosts a party here, they get a visit from Freddy, Bonnie, or Chica as part of the package, but they rarely use Freddy for such functions. It's also company policy to have a security guard posted in each room while the animatronic is present, a duty you have often performed, but that was before the restaurant closed. Interesting. Since it reopened, these rooms haven't been needed, and of course you're on the night shift now. Okay, so, big interest right there. So we know that the physical building of FNAF 2 and the physical building of FNAF 1 are not the same building. So this means there's a time before this location closed, and then there's now after the reopening. That sentence basically confirms to me the theory that the MCI FNAF location and the FNAF 1 FNAF location are the same physical building, but is separate from FNAF 2. Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Big lore drop in this book. Everything seems quite ordinary inside. The 2 long tables are covered in white tablecloths decorated with colorful confetti. Cone-shaped cardboard party hats are lined up on each table, waiting to be strapped onto rambunctious kids. You smile, thinking back on better times. For a while, you would have said Freddy Fazbear's Pizza was the happiest place on Earth, if you weren't worried about infringing on a trademark. Approaching steps snap you back to the moment and remind you how much this place has changed. You consider hiding, but you have plenty of time to check out Party Room 2 before the animatronic reaches you. You can hide in Party Room 1 or open Party Room 2. It said we have plenty of time, so we're gonna go to Party Room 2. You hustle over to Party Room 2 and open the door, or try to. It's locked. You're not even sure who has the key to this door. These rooms aren't usually locked. Interesting. Naturally, now you're even more curious about what or who might be inside there. The footsteps are closer. They're coming from the direction of the show stage, but you can't tell which animatronic it is. You hope you won't get to find out. Unless you can figure out how to get inside this room, your only option is to try to get back to the adjacent party room and hide there instead. Okay, so hide inside Party Room 1. If you have the ID card, you may use it here. If you have the master key, you can use it here. We do have the ID card. We have the old ID card. Do not have a master key, so we have the ID card. We're going to use that. So this is Party Room 2 that we've managed to unlock. In movies, people use credit cards to jimmy open locked doors. You pull out the IT card you found earlier. The thin plastic is flexible, but sturdy enough that you should be able to slide it between the door and the frame and push open the latch. But you have to be quick. The animatronic is almost here. It actually works. The door opens and you duck inside the room and close the door behind you. The footsteps go right past and fade away. You wipe sweat from your forehead. You switch on the lights and look around. What was so important about this room? There's no one here. It's practically a mirror image of Party Room 1, but with striped tablecloths instead of white and party hats decorated with confetti. It also has a wide window looking out at the tree line behind the restaurant and the mountains beyond that. only it's dark now, so all you see is the room reflected in the glass. So again, if this is game canon, this now confirms the Freddys is a standalone building theory, as opposed to the Freddys is inside of a mall theory, which was a previous theory that people thought. You hardly recognize yourself, or the fear in your face. You turn your attention back to the tables. One of the party hats is slightly out of alignment with the others. You nudge it back into place, but meet some resistance. Something's under the hat. You lift up the paper cone and find a Fazbear Entertainment branded Zippo lighter. Someone must have left it here after lighting birthday candles. Tisk tisk. Okay, so we're going to add that to our inventory. We have the gum wrapper, the ID card, the lighter. We use the gum, we use the paperclip, and we give the pen to our daughter. So that's what we have. No master key, no bonus items or whatever that was. Bonnie's head is what you came here for. You walk over and pick it up. Oof! It's heavier than it looks, and something sticky leaks onto your hands. Machine oil, hopefully. You're glad it didn't leave a mess on the floor. Even after all this time, this is the closest you've been to an animatronic. One reason being the smell. These things haven't been washed in ever? There's something sharp and sour about the stench, like food left out to rot, or roadkill. You wrinkle your nose. It's very unpleasant. You've also never touched an animatronic before, which of course is strongly discouraged. The fur is matted and kind of greasy. There are probably things crawling inside it. You don't want to hold this any longer than you have to. You turn it around in your hands until Bonnie is looking at you. Let's go get you patched up, you say. Bonnie's eyes blink and swivel toward you. You're so startled you almost drop the head. It probably just happened because you were moving it around. You look up at the stage. Bonnie's torso is still up there, and so is Freddy Fazbear. But now, Chica is gone. Should you go up and try to reattach the head, or look for tools and instructions at Parts and Services behind the stage? Parts and Services seems reasonable to want to go to. You open the door at the back of the stage marked Employees Only. Though you're an employee, you've never needed to go back here before. You step into the backstage area, what staff has taken to refer to as P&S, Parts and Services. It's dark and practically shouts, "This area is off limits." It feels wrong and a little dangerous to be back here. You look around for something useful to help you reattach Bonnie's head properly. A user manual would be nice. An endoskeleton sits at the end of the workbench next to a screwdriver, perhaps intended for the empty Freddy Fazbear suit tucked into the corner. Another empty Freddy head rests on the other side of the workbench, so the suit in the corner is Golden Freddy, and we know that there's a crank associated with Springlock suits, so interesting. There are several Freddy heads in here. They're old designs. Some of them don't have eyebrows or have a slightly different shape. There's also a Chica head on the shelf, and next to it is a flashlight. What about Foxy? You don't see any of his parts back here. As if you summoned him, you hear heavy footsteps running toward the room. You have to find something to defend yourself with, or take your chances and hide. So you can grab the screwdriver, grab the flashlight, or put on the Freddy head. So we know, put on the Freddy head, 100%. That's what you do in the Freddy's at FNAF game. 5 Breakfast at Frankie's. In a moment of panic, you grab the spare Freddy Fazbear mask and drop it over your own head and then stand still. Ugh, if you thought the animatronic smelled bad on the outside, the inside of this one absolutely reeks. It smells like stale sweat, notes of old coffee, hints of cigarette smoke. Even worse, it feels warm and moist, like being inside someone's mouth. You can taste something. You don't know what it is, but it's bitter and coppery, and it makes your heart flutter with anxiety. It's blood! Fear. You're tasting fear. It's blood! As soon as you put the Freddy head on, you want to tear it off again, but you don't dare, because through its eye holes you spot Foxy standing in the doorway. He stalks towards you and stops, only inches from your Freddy face. He leans forward to look into its eyes. He sees you. He screams, and you black out. You drift in and out of consciousness, distantly aware that you're being stuffed inside an animatronic suit. We died? We lost? You hope someone checks the suits back here once in a while and finds your body, so your daughter will know why you never came home. No! This is broke. No, I disagree. I disagree that happened. Okay, so we're going back to this previous decision. Screwdriver or flashlight? Foxy doesn't like light, so we're going to do the flashlight. You dash toward the shelves and pick up the flashlight just as Foxy bursts into the room. You whirl around and press the button on the flashlight. Luckily, the batteries inside still work. A bright beam cuts across the dark room and shines... The Freddy mask doesn't work on Foxy in FNAF 2. I'm an idiot. The Freddy mask specifically doesn't work on Foxy. The flashlight does. I'm dumb! Oh my god, this is just like the cart thing in the other game. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Okay, I figured it out though. I just have to do it wrong the first time. A bright beam cuts across the dark room and shines on Foxy's face. You thought maybe you would blind him temporarily so you can slip by, but the light seems to mess him up. He freezes in place, servos clicking in confusion. You hope you won't get in trouble for breaking Foxy. You don't know how long he'll be like this, so you decide to get a move on. You need to reattach Bonnie's head and get back to the security office. It will only become more dangerous to be out as the night progresses, especially once Foxy reboots. Okay, so we get the flashlight and the screwdriver. I wonder what happens if you only take the screwdriver. I'm guessing that you die. This is not my real choice. We made my real choice already. Alright, so if you chose screwdriver, you launch yourself towards the workbench and grab the screwdriver, knocking over the endoskeleton and making a terrible racket. You turn and hold out the tool like a dagger as Foxy bursts into the room. He hesitates in the doorway and looks around, seeming to pay you no attention. Is he wondering why they don't have any spare parts for him? Why don't they just fix him instead of leaving him in Pirate's Cove to rot behind a closed curtain? The animatronics were all built with a purpose, to entertain children. How would you feel if you were prevented from doing what you were made for? To be trapped in the dark, listening to children living and laughing just on the other side of your curtain. Your whole world would be that sliver of light from between the curtains, only able to see and not partake in the small slice of freedom and happiness. While Foxy's preoccupied, you try to sneak past him, but before you can reach the door, his head snaps in your direction. He rushes at you. You jam the screwdriver into Foxy's good eye, but it turns out the eye patch is just for show. He lifts it up and winks at you. Then he plucks the screwdriver out and turns it on you. Game over. Alright, so with the flashlight and the screwdriver, we're returning to the main stage. You climb up onto the show stage and look out, imagining an audience of boisterous kids and frazzled parents. Staff and customers are not allowed up here. The last time a kid found his way on stage during a performance, you shudder. That's what liability waivers were for. Where Chica usually stands, you see a metal plate. The animatronics recharge on those at night, through battery terminals on their feet. You gently place Bonnie's head back on his body. The animatronics deserve your respect. When you think about it, you wouldn't have a job without them. They have some flaws, but they've brought so much happiness to families over the years. That fact needs to be weighed against their actions. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, right? Bonnie's head wobbles. You can't leave him like this. It seems you can tighten it by turning it. But which way? Left or right? Does it matter? You probably can't make him any worse. But maybe you should pop backstage to see if there are some instructions. You're just a security officer. You aren't trained in repairing animatronics. And if you do this incorrectly, you could lose your job earlier than planned. Or worse. Okay, we can go left, we can go right, we can go backstage. I think that we're still in this being hesitant mindset, so we're gonna go backstage. You open the door to the backstage. You open the door to the back of the stage marked employees only. Though you're an employee, you've never needed to be back here. You step into the backstage area. We did this already. What? Did this loop me incorrectly? Return to the stage show. I don't know which way to turn it. I'm gonna go left, but it didn't tell me. You twist Bonnie's head to the left and something clicks inside. His eyes focus on you. Is he fixed? His head starts twitching and his mouth opens wide. You glimpse another set of teeth deep inside his maw. Are those human teeth? He is clearly not fixed. You step back, or try to, but his right hand holds on your jacket. You tug at it, but there's no breaking his grip. No, you cry, I'm trying to help you. You manage to slip out of your jacket and stumble backwards, but you fall on the back of your head slams against the stage floor. Bright lights flashing in your eyes and you black out. When you come to a moment later, Bonnie is holding your head between his oversized hands. He stares at you, with unblinking red eyes, mouth jittering open and closed. Please don't, you whisper. I have a daughter. He turns your head hard to the left with a sickening crunch. Okay, what happens if you turn his head to the right? You twist Bonnie's head to the right, and something clicks inside. His eyelids blink once as the head comes back online. It seems you've done the trick, but there are 3 small holes around the base of his neck to secure the head. This is probably why Bonnie's head fell off in the first place. As he dances and strums his signature red bass guitar on the stage, the screws vibrated and eventually fell out, and then off with his head. You look around the stage and find 2 silver screws, but no matter how much you search, you can't find the third one. 2 will have to do for now. The best you can do is let maintenance know, and they can hunt down another screw tomorrow. You insert 1 screw in each side of his neck, with them sticking out like that. Bonnie reminds you of Frankenstein's monster. That's no good. You'll have to tighten them or his head will tumble off again. A job half... Wow! Woo! We got a curse word in here. Wow! Wow, what do you think about that, Toto? He doesn't have any thoughts because he's a puppet. A job half done will never last, as your father used to say. He was a perfectionist, and nothing you did was ever good enough. You vowed you would never treat your own child that way, and so far you haven't with Kapalia. The sooner you fix Bonnie, the sooner you can go back to the security office, and the better your chances of getting home to her in the morning. Tighten the screws with your fingers. If you have the screwdriver, use it. I do have the screwdriver. The screwdriver makes quick work of tightening Bonnie's loose screws. The head feels as sturdy as it has ever been. Maybe you missed a calling in repair work. The only thing you enjoy as much as keeping order and protecting people is fixing things. After your last day here, you can start looking into other positions. It might be nice to do something that lets you work with your hands more. It would be fun to make toys. Nothing that moves like the animatronics at Freddys, just simple toys for simple joys. Now that Bonnie is functional again, you feel oddly exposed up on the stage, especially with Chica out there somewhere. You also have to assume Foxy is out and about right now. It's a good idea to go back to the security office and hope nothing else breaks tonight. Return to security office. You return to the security office and slump into your seat. This job is finally getting to you. You can't let it get the best of you. You need just a moment to catch your breath. You close your eyes and breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. You also take a drink of water. This is everyone's hydration check. Make sure you're hydrated, folks, or Toto will jump scare you. A sound startles you awake. Oh no, you've fallen asleep on the job. After all the times you've warned night watchmen to always stay vigilant and faithfully reported those who shirked their responsibilities and dozed through a shift, you're embarrassed and annoyed at yourself. It's just that you're having trouble adjusting to the late hours, and dealing with the animatronics is wearing you out. You can beat yourself up later. Something woke you, a sound. Or wait, was it two sounds? You're still disoriented from your unintentional nap, but you think you heard footsteps approaching the door on your left, and someone groaning from the door on your right. You could have dreamed them up, or you could be in imminent danger. You only have time to act on one potential threat. Your clock reads 5:55 a.m., so you only have to survive the next 5 minutes. Left door or right door? Okay, so something is approaching on the left. If that's Bonnie, then he's not here yet, so we should close the right door because Chica is actually physically out there. If the thing approaching on the left is Foxy, then we lose. So I'm thinking right door is the best option here. If someone is close enough for you to hear them groan, then they're too close. You leap for the door on your right and slap your finger against the button. You catch a flash of yellow before the door slams shut. Looks like you were just in time. You flick on the hall light and Chica stares in manically at you, beaked mouth wide open. You turn off the light. You can take your cluck and get lost, you say. I've had enough for one night. But it seems you haven't. The footsteps keep approaching on your left, and then Bonnie is standing there. It's too late to close the door now. You brace yourself for the attack, but Bonnie doesn't seem to move. He just stares at you. You stare back at him. What is he waiting for? You break eye contact for a moment and see the clock on the desk flip over from 5:59 to 6 a.m. Bonnie turns and walks away, back toward the show stage. At the door on the right, Chica does the same. Did Bonnie just let you live? Was that a thank you for restoring his head? Or maybe you just got lucky. Either way, you survived another night and it's time to go home. Tap touch here to go home. As soon as you get home, you rush to your daughter's room and check on her. She's sleeping with her left leg sticking out from under the covers and a pillow over her face. You must have spaced out for a minute because the next thing you know, she screams and throws the pillow at your head. You catch it and hold it to your chest. What's wrong? You say. Why are you standing there staring at me? She says. I was about to wake you for school. I'm sorry, it's been a weird night. She pushes her hair back from her face. It's okay. It was just kind of creepy. When I first woke up, I must have been still dreaming. You look like that Fredbear thing from your job. You mean Freddy Fazbear? Whatever, he still weirds me out. They all do. She's never gotten over the time you brought her to work to meet the animatronics when she was 7, and they made her cry so hard she threw up her pizza and cake. She had nightmares for at least a week afterwards. Never mind, it's just me, your loving Dad Bear. You open your arms for a hug. She squints at you. Please never say Dad Bear again. You feel bad about scaring her and ruining her morning. You don't want her to have bad memories of you like that. Gifts always make her feel better. What coin? I don't have a coin. Did I break it? Bam, I didn't get a coin. So, just saying. Okay, I'm going through to figure out where I messed up. Earlier, if you choose to hide in party room 1 instead of going to party room 2, you go inside, Chica comes to get you, and then it looks like you get fired. But that's fine. If you hide inside, there's an option where you can peek out the door, and the cupcake is there. You lean down and pick it up. This is Chica's prop from the stage show. It's called Mr. Cupcake, though the staff has other nicknames for it, like Mr. Tuttles. That's his canon name, Mr. Tuttles. Did Chica leave this for you, or did it somehow hop over here on its own? You think it's harmless, but the way the eyes follow you suggests it must be an animatronic as well, though you've never seen it move before tonight. You hold it up to your ear to make sure it isn't ticking or something. You hear the slight whir of servos too late. Apparently, Mr. Cupcake's mouth also moves, and once his teeth bite down on something or someone, they never let go. The other option is you can wait a little longer. Though you need to get out of here, you just have to wait a little longer, if only to feel safe for a few more moments. Nothing is ever what it seems at Freddys anymore, and you can only rely on your instincts. Something tells you this is a trap. If you're wrong, you've only wasted a little time. Your instincts were right, more than right. You look down, where faint light seeps in from the dining area under the door. There's a shadow there, of something small on the other side of the threshold. You wonder what it could be. You lower yourself to the floor and try to peer under the crack. You can only see a small portion of whatever it is, but it looks like the wrapper for a large cupcake. You aren't curious enough to open the door though, and your patience pays off. Footsteps approach again, and you can see the distinctive chicken feet of Chica. She picks up whatever is on the floor and walks away. That must have been Mr. Cupcake, you think. You feel silly now for being afraid of a harmless prop, but at least it's gone now, and you're relatively certain that the coast is clear. So yeah, go to Bonnie's head. I'm so lost here. If you screw it on the left, you die. If you screw it on the right, you do this. Okay, if you don't have the screwdriver and you use your fingers, you die. You tighten the screws with your fingers as hard as you can. You worry that you could have done more, but you did your best. The next day, you're woken up by a phone call. It's your boss. Ralph, today we had the biggest crowd in a long time, she says. A reporter was even there to see how we've been doing since we reopened, and we are on track for a big comeback story. Guess what happened? You swallow. Was anyone unbitten? Worse, she says. Turn on the news. You switch on the small black and white television on your kitchen counter and twist the dial until you see a breaking news story. A sobbing child covered in cake and something that looks like blood is being interviewed. And the text scroll at the bottom reads, "Some bunny's in trouble." It cuts to a video recording of the animatronic show at Freddys. The footage shows Bonnie's head toppling off in the middle of a sick guitar riff, bouncing up the stage and landing on some poor kid's cake. Children scream and stampede while Bonnie's eyes roll wildly. You look away from the horrific scene. There's no blood, no one got hurt, that's awful. We check the camera footage. We know you sabotaged the animatronics, Ralph. You're fired. Fazbear Entertainment's lawyers will be in touch. I don't get it. Okay, so use the screwdrivers. You go back to the office. Okay, so you close the left door because Bonnie's coming. And then you're gonna be dead from Chica, yeah. Someone groans right in your ear. Chica jumps up from your right and screams in your face. And she kills you. Your final thought is a chicken with teeth. That's so messed up. There's no coin. There's no coin. I'm so confused. You have a lighter, but there is no coin. Yeah, even just reading through, like, there's nothing that says add a coin to your inventory. Again, I'm just trying to, like, not be spoiled by looking for anything that has, like, a picture of a coin or add coin to your inventory. Huh! Oh my god, this is incredible. Okay, look, so earlier, wait, no, that's so cool. Okay, so here, if you have the ID card, you can use it to get in. If you have the master key, you may use it. If you click this, it says, you open the door and hide behind it just in time. The footsteps stop in the doorway, and the animatronic makes a raspy, moaning sound as it enters the room. It approaches the table, waits for a moment, and then leaves. You wait until all is quiet before you step out from behind the door and resume breathing. You dare not turn on the light, but you can make out some details in the faint illumination from the dining area. This is one of the few rooms at the restaurant with an outside-facing window, making it a popular choice for parties. The tables are set up just like in Party Room 1, but with striped tablecloths and party hats decorated with confetti. One of the cardboard hats is overturned on the table closest to the door, where the animatronics stopped. You wonder why they would knock that hat over and then leave. You close the door softly and switch on the lights so you can see better. You look around and see a note pinned to a Freddy Fazbear poster marked, "Let's party. You ready?" A message is spelled out in letters cut from the newspaper. You read it. A master key is not in this game. You are the one who must live with your shame. You know what they say, cheaters don't win, but those who might try to make the purple man grin. The game has crashed. Okay, so It's to catch cheaters. There is no master key. That's really cool. Yeah, but the purple man, ooh, he's in book now. But yeah, no, okay, I just went through, like, all of these options, and there's no coin. There is no coin. What kind of coin you coining about right now? I'm just so confused. Yeah, I don't know what this coin thing is, so we're gonna keep the coin. I think that there's a broken link here, because if you go backstage, and then go to Bonnie's head, and then go backstage again, it just loops the Foxy thing? That might be an error. I'm not sure. Okay, we're gonna give her the coin and see if it says something. Oh, hey, I got you something. You flip the plastic coin over to her. The coin falls on her superhero bedspread, and she grabs it. She holds it up and closes one eye to inspect it with the other. I just said that your freaky robot friends freak me out, and this one is the freakiest of all. Foxy was always my favorite. She looks at you. That explains a lot about you. I wasn't expecting this kind of attitude until you were a teenager. I'm almost, she says. You're not. And don't be in a rush to grow up. Anyway, that is a collectible gold treasure coin. She bites down on it. It's fake. You grimace. It was kind of dirty. It's all scratched up and mangled. Fine, you hold your hand out. Give it back. She flips it in the air and catches it. I love it, because you gave it to me. You smile. Even if it's just some junk you found on the floor at work or something, it's nice to know you were thinking of me. Always, kiddo, I'll go make breakfast while you change for school. If I get heads, you have to make pancakes. She flips the coin again and it comes up Foxy. Pancakes? I never agreed to that, you grumble, but you go to the kitchen and start mixing the batter. It's only after she leaves for school that you remember Foxy's head is on both sides of the coin. What coin? There was no coin. I have been lied to. I'm very confused by many things. Not sure where we get the coin. Not sure if there was an issue with that looping Foxy thing. And I'm also unclear about this whole using the bonus item thing, because I'm not sure how we could have gotten that before we started playing, so I guess we'll figure that out on another episode, because this episode is over. Thank you for watching. Make sure to be nice to each other in the comments. Consider supporting the creators you most admire. Never lose sight of the things that are most important to you. And remember that Freddys stands for Friendly, Respectful Engagement, Discussion, and Discourse Yields Success. We'll see you on Night 3.